Thank you so much, Sjokz. Amazing to hear from Caliste. As always, Casey made it to finals. There we have the revenge match against G2 tomorrow. And I have the man in the mid lane and a stressed coach with me to talk about all this. First things first, guys, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll come to you later. Yeah, how do you feel?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel relieved.
Yeah.
I think there was, in the preparation, there was like a lot of improvement from last week. So that's like I think the discussion in between games and the drafts that we had like 3, 4, 5, I was happy with, which last week I think we had a lot of struggle with. So I'm just really happy with this. After that, like gameplay-wise, there are a lot of things we can rewatch, but obviously it's a best of 5. And it's what I told them before the games, like it's about who showed up, you know, and then we showed mega up on game 5, so that's what counts, you know.
And that's the thing, and I had 2 opinions on the desk, Vladi, before this game 5. Some casters were saying usually when you win game 4, it gives you the momentum to win game 5, and they were like, and the other side of the casters were like, absolutely not. They're gonna want to fight. They don't want to get reverse swept. Tell me about the mindset you had coming into this game 5.
I mean, I think it's both.
Yeah.
When you are 2-0 up, like you feel a bit relieved, I would say. I mean, obviously you still have you are still locked in. But yeah, when you lose 2 in a row, I think the pressure comes at you, and you feel the pressure. But obviously, I think the mindset doesn't change, and we are still playing for the win.
You drink the pressure in the end. That's a strength for you guys. Reha, what is the process actually between the games to reset mentally, especially after going 2-0 and seeing things unravel after that?
So you mean like how did I prepare all this time? I think mostly it's like I'm only focused on the strategic approach, right? And then it's like if there are important things that I need to talk about before the game that we didn't do in the previous game, I'll try to talk about it, or I have my assistant coaches who can do it really well as well. But most important, I know my players as well, and I think I know they like those type of moments and they are able to bounce back. I guess the only one, I mean, there are some players that I've been already in this situation with, so I knew we want to be in a fine spot. And with the new ones, I could see how they reacted. And I know, like, from the DNA they had in their career that they could bounce back. So I was not really, like, surprised, I'd say. I think it's more about, okay, what do we need to focus on in the last game, you know? What do we need to focus on to make sure that we win the game? And then we talked about it, and yeah, I think they did well.
How did you know what was going to be the good approach here in game 5? Because again, we don't see a lot of game 5s, in the LEC especially, unknown territory when it comes to draft, and especially mindset, again, to keep the players focused, so...
I mean, I think it's all about draft, especially with Fearless, because it's really different from the previous formats. So it's mostly like, as long as we find solution as a group, I think we're always going to be in a fine spot, especially with the group we have. We know, like, if we have good champions and we are in a good spot and then we can fight, then we're going to be in a fine spot. And I think as long as we talk, as long as we find solution, it's going to be fine with us. Like, we're not going to be a team that is surprisingly down or surprisingly euphoric, maybe euphoric sometimes. But I know, like, we're going to try to stay calm. Maybe this guy sometimes doesn't stay calm, but it's fine.
You don't stay calm?
He does.
He's lying.
He's lying? Okay, so some beef to settle between you two.
He's calm.
Vladi, did you play well today? Do you feel like you played well?
I think I played better than anyone
in your team.
Exactly.
Would you say that you deserve the Kia player of the series?
When we were hitting the Nexus, I told Yike, if I'm not the MVP, I'm getting robbed. It's cocky, but it's the reality, you know?
You got it! You got it. Why is it so important for you, though?
It's not important, it's just...
No, that's a lie. Because I saw videos and you complain about this all the times when your teammates get it.
I think I got robbed a lot of times, that's why. I think Caliste, it's because, you know, he's the upcoming star.
All right.
So he's overhyped and he gets the MVPs.
And you were the star today. And to be honest, I don't know if you hear so much what we say on the desk about you, but we've been praising you all splits. The way you came into the LEC last year in a difficult situation, and the fact that you've been able not just to perform this year, but to outclass most of your opponents. Do you see the improvements in your gameplay from last year to this year? And what do you think have been these improvements?
Yeah, I can definitely see it from the LFL to the LEC last year. Like, I had very experienced players. Upset, he was my ex-teammate. I have Targamas, who is helping me a lot. I have my coaches. And Closer, who played in LCS for 3 years and even won a championship. So yeah, I got to learn a lot. And then coming to this split, I think I improved a lot of stuff that I was lacking in the previous one. For example, I think my laning phase was a bit rough. And yeah, I think Targamas has helped me a lot in this kind of stuff, I would say.
Anything you want to add, Reha, about your prodigy here in the mid lane?
I mean, he's doing great, you know. I've said
Cover your
ears.
It's
been a long time, you know. It's been a long time. I've said that he's a great player, and we tell him every day, right? But it means that we have also a lot of expectations from him, you know.
Yeah.
And like being in the finals, and like I said, that we need to stomp the guy in front of him, right? And he did today. So I'm really happy because everything we say, we need to see it in actions. And I'm just really proud of him, you know, because he's putting the work. He's the highest in solo queue in Europe, highest Elo. Maybe Scumon is maybe higher, but you know,
time will come.
He's putting a lot of effort, you know.
Yeah.
And just it's like the definition of just okay. There's talent, of course, you're talented, but you worked hard, and then it pays off.
Yeah, it pays off, and the road is not done. The job is not done, of course. One last opponent for you guys tomorrow. Let's take a look at the bracket, shall we? G2 Esports and KC facing off yet again. We know what happened last week, guys, so my question is simple. How do we make sure that it doesn't happen again? What are the learnings, Vladi, from last week's series?
I think one of the things that we talked, I would say, last series was the draft. I think in a lot of games, I mean, I wouldn't blame the coaches. I think some of the mistakes in the draft was me. Like I think I called for the. I was the one who called the Rise Viego on Game 4, and obviously it was terrible because we are a full closed range jump against Caitlyn and Evia. But yeah, I think we will make sure we don't do these mistakes on draft, and look to beat them.
You had some reactions, Reha, that we sadly couldn't see on air to the criticism about the draft last week.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, like, let's be honest, Game 4 draft is unplayable. Like, my players can't do anything, so it's on me. Like, obviously, we can always talk about it, but I think the preparation was not good for that. So I think, I still think, like, the draft 1, 2, 3 are a good draft, though. That's what happened, but in the gameplay, like, we know how they play, right? They're actually really similar to Fnatic, I think, the way they want to play early game. So we need to be ready to fight. That's basically it, or ready to have a plan against them. We already talked the whole week. We screamed them again. We know how they play. Like, it's just about, you know, showing up now and doing the things that we talked about so much. And it's a final. And finally, you got to win.
You gotta win. You gotta win, and you gotta be ready. And it's the form in the moment that matters, not so much the work that you're gonna be able to do overnight. You were mentioning Fnatic. I do believe we have an interview ready with Gaax and Sjokz. So yeah, let's listen to what he had to say.
So Gaax, the end of the road after a gruesome game 5 or 5 games, I'd rather say. Why were things more difficult than they should be today?
I don't think it's only today, right? I think we have shown that we are just not consistent, which is, I think, something that we knew coming into the split. It's something Fnatic is known for.
Yeah.
And I just think that it's a hard balance between not making enough progress, but also accepting that there is progress.
Yeah.
Because I think we also, the games we play well, we play more often well. But then also, of course, like game 5 shows us a slow death, right? And we die early game really easily, take fights we don't have to take. It's a bit disappointing how we lost. Ultimately, though, we also said in the beginning we don't want to define this season by winter. Like, we still want to improve and have a long-term growth. And we did lots of things good, lots of things bad, and all we can do is learn from it, right?
Absolutely, that's a good approach to have because there are 2 more splits. There is so much more to prove. But as a coach, I feel like there's probably a couple of things that you want rectified quickly. Could you give me a little insight into what those may be?
I think most of it is a bit internal. I think just in general, the approach to how we scrim and how much energy we put in daily. I think compared, for example, shout out to KC. I know the coaching staff, the team does a ton of work, good work. And I think sometimes, of course, we had some sicknesses, but we could have done more, I think, as a team. Also, of course, the balance between hard work and fun, where I think sometimes, for example, me and Gaax are a bit more on the stricter side.
Yeah. Which
also, of course, especially after being 8-1, might have had a negative impact at some point. So we still have to like jive as a team and see what is actually the expectation we have. And I think that's the work we have to put in to actually understand each other better and make sure that we have the right balance and not, I don't want to say burn out because I think that's kind of sad to say in winter, but also enjoy our time a bit more in scrims.
Okay, I see. Thank you for being so candid with me. The road is long. It's a marathon, not a sprint, as we know. Thank you so much, Gaax.
Thank you for having me.
Back to you.
Thank you, Sjokz. Amazing to hear. Gaax's perspective here, because Reha, that's something we've discussed earlier today and all split. Actually, when you have a roster like Fnatic with this caliber of players, that is not the kind of results that is expected. What has been your read on Fnatic and their, I want to say, collapse from regular season until what we've seen lately?
I think they're actually very one-dimensional. It seems like very harsh to say, but like the only thing that, I mean, they are really good at fighting. I think they are the best probably team in LEC or finding like quick windows to engage and be S5 on the screen where you're not supposed to be. And the thing is, I think that maybe that's not enough, but I think they're really good at when they have like this comp like that. We give them like things game 4 when they have Uneva Kesa. It shouldn't be that good into our champions, but they are so good at finding these right windows, getting a flank on Vi, and just engaging on you, and you're surprised. You're not aware that it's going to happen, and for sure that's always a tough opponent that we need to play against. Always, whether it's scrims, whether it's competitive, when we play them in regular season, like they completely smashed us because we were not ready to fight at Rift, and then suddenly you're 6k behind. And there's many games today which happened the same way. Even also one thing that, I mean, you have to say though, because I think it's a huge quality. They are actually a mega resilient team as well. Like if you look at game 2, I almost had a heart attack when I saw that we're going to lose the game, and then I saw they're going to finish. So I was like, okay, fine, we can actually clutch it. But for sure, that's one of the quality, and I think it's come from the experience, obviously, but also because they have players who have really good sense. You know, I think for sure they have really good sense, and it will always be like the whole year, like a tough opponent to prepare, tough opponent to beat. But yeah, we're ready for the fight.
So much glazing.
I mean, yeah,
glazing us that much.
Yeah, because you don't deserve it yet.
We'll see if you deserve it tomorrow, Vladi. But yeah, a lot of talents, a lot of things to work on, and a lot of resilience on this side of Fnatic. We will see them in spring. But, well, you wanted to talk, Vladi, so I'm going to leave you the final thoughts here. G2 picked blue side. Big surprise here, I know. Anything, any message you want to send G2 ahead of tomorrow?
Any message?
Yeah.
I'm talking to Bibi. I think he got too cocky when we beat them. I will beat you. You are very bad.
Very bad to beat you. All right. Words to the top, father. Thank you so much. Maybe you're gonna have another kid tomorrow. Who knows? And it's gonna be Broken Blade. Vladi, thank you so much for PGL, and Reha. Merci beaucoup as usual. And thank you all for watching this banger best of 5 today. We have one more tomorrow. It's gonna be the very first LEC finals for Karmine Corp facing off against the champions G2 Esports. You do not want to miss it. Pre-show will start at 5:30. Games at 6 p.m. CET. You have to be there. You have to be there. Get a good night's sleep, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.
I'm not gonna lie, like, I think I'm gonna completely 1v9. Like, I'm not joking, by the way.
Carlos going all in, him and the Grubs trying to tag team Radler going in.
I can still look.
Maybe go in.
Yeah, go in. I'm strong. I'm coming quick.
Nice.
Yeah, just go.
I have stacks.
I'm ulting on barrels.
Yeah. Kill barrels.
Very good.
Cassandra. Nice.
Jupiter has flash.
Flash forward. Volley gets him. Extra damage not going in. Oscar in it needs to get out. Scrap shield. What's the cooldown left? Finally gonna get a little bit of health back, trying to get away from the He torches it down. It's the edge.
No flash boost. Good up. No flash.
Yeah, carry.
Yeah, he's low.
She's losing the tags, by the way. Let them tag it. Lumber note. She lost tags.
I'm low.
I got it.
Good up.
Flash, yeah. Oh my god, yeah. For Fnatic, looking like 2018, but 2018 was a damn good year. Finding the turn. Double kill for Humanoid.
Keep it. I can give you a.
I can go in if you can follow me, Kisun.
No, I don't think. Chill.
I will just ult the Corki.
Gaax can TP bot, okay. Gaax is TP.
I'm tanking.
Should we look at Area? I put you.
Look at Area. I'm looking.
Look on the bottom.
Siren dead, no flash. I can go Siren, guys. Look.
I can follow.
Crap.
Get the turtle.
Lexus.
They're stacked, by the way. Nice! Good job.
Guys, I'm getting MVP.
Good job, Vladi. Well played, bro. opponent.